We reading the Four Agreements today. Peace and love, y'all. It's Johnny Hair God, aka God the Ambassador. I don't know where I want to start. I mean, I was gonna read the acknowledgments, but we can skip the acknowledgments. But this book, the Four Agreements, oh man, this book is a game changer for people who are looking to just really ground themselves in spiritual principles and look for if and for people who are looking for practical application of spiritual principles. This is a game changer. The Four Agreements. I definitely recommend getting the Four Agreements. It's a game changer when you ascending in consciousness and you looking for practical application of spirit rituals. And so I wanted to get on here and start sharing this because I had somebody who wanted the book, but they weren't able to get it. And so I said, well, you know what? I'm going to read it because I always read. I start reading and I'll read it on my social media just for the sake of you being able to get on and watch. And so with that, we're going to jump right into it. Again, this is a game changer. The Four Agreements is right here on the inside folder. And so this just gives you a basic of the Four Agreements. And so the first agreement, be impeccable with your word. Speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip against others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. Number 2, don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. 3, don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. And then always do your best. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick. Under any circumstance, simply do your best and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. The Four Agreements. The Toltec. Thousands of years ago, the Toltec were known throughout southern Mexico as women and men of knowledge. Anthropologists have spoken of the Toltec as a nation or a race, but in fact, the Toltec were scientists and artists who formed a society to explore and conserve the spiritual knowledge and practices of the ancient ones. They came together as masters, nagels, and students at Teotihuacan, the ancient city of pyramids outside Mexico City, known as the place where man becomes God. Over the millennia, the Nagels were forced to conceal the ancestral wisdom and maintain its existence in obscurity. European conquest, coupled with rampant misuse of personal power by a few of the apprentices, made it necessary to shield the knowledge from those who were not prepared to use it wisely or who might intentionally misuse it for personal gain. Fortunately, the esoteric Toltec knowledge was embodied and passed on through generations by different lineages of Nagels. Though it remained veiled in secrecy for hundreds of years, ancient prophecies foretold the coming of an age when it would be necessary to return the wisdom to the people. Now, Don Miguel Ruiz, a Nagel from the Eagle Knight lineage, has been guided to share with us the powerful teachings of the Toltec. Toltec knowledge arises from the same essential unity of truth as all the sacred esoteric traditions found around the world. Though it is not a religion, it honors all the spiritual masters who have taught on earth. While it does embrace spirit, it is most accurately described as a way of life. distinguished by the ready accessibility of happiness and love. Introduction. The Smoky Mirror. 3,000 years ago, there was a human, just like you and me, who lived near a city surrounded by mountains. The human was studying to become a medicine man, to learn the knowledge of his ancestors. But he didn't completely agree with everything he was learning. In his heart, he felt there must be something more. One day as he slept in a cave, he dreamed that he saw his own body sleeping. He came out of the cave on the night of a new moon. The sky was clear, and he could see millions of stars. Then something happened inside of him that transformed his life forever. He looked at his hands, he felt his body, and he heard his own voice say, "I am made of light. I am made of stars." He looked at the stars again, and he realized that it's not the stars that create the light, but rather light that creates the stars. Everything is made of light, he said, and the space in between isn't empty. And he knew that everything that exists is one living being, and that light is the messenger of life, because it is alive and contains all information. Then he realized that although he was made of stars, he was not those stars. I am in between the stars, he thought. So he called the stars the tunnel and the light between the stars the nagel. And he knew that what created the harmony in space between the two is life or intent. Without life, the toenail and the nagel could not exist. Life is the force of the absolute, the supreme, the creator who creates everything. This is what he discovered. Everything in existence is a manifestation of the one thing being called God. Everything is God. And he came to the conclusion that human perception is merely light perceiving light. Ain't that powerful? He also saw that matter is a mirror. Everything is a mirror that reflects light and creates images of that light. In the world of illusion, the dream is just like smoke, which doesn't allow us to see what we really are. The real us is pure love, pure light, he said. This realization changed his life. Once he knew what he really was, he looked around at other humans and the rest of nature, and he was amazed at what he saw. He saw himself in everything, in every human, in every animal, in every tree, in the water, in the rain, in the clouds, in the earth. And he saw that life mixed the tunnel and the nagel in different ways to create billions of manifestations of life. In those few moments, he comprehended everything. He was very excited, and his heart was filled with peace. He could hardly wait to tell his people what he had discovered, but there were no words to explain it. He tried to tell others, but they could not understand. They could see that he had changed, that something beautiful was radiating from his eyes and his voice. They noticed that he no longer had judgment about anything or anyone. He was no longer like anyone else. He could understand everyone very well, but no one could understand him. They believed that he was an incarnation of God, and he smiled when he heard this, and he said, "It is true. I am God, but you are also God. We are the same, you and I. We are images of light. We are God." But still, the people didn't understand him. He had discovered that he was a mirror for the rest of the people, a mirror in which he could see himself. Everyone is a mirror, he said. He saw himself in everyone, but nobody saw him as themselves. And he realized that everyone was dreaming. But without awareness, without knowing what they really are, they couldn't see him as themselves because there was a wall of fog or smoke between the mirrors. And that wall of fog was made by the interpretation of images of light, the dream of humans. Then he knew that he would soon forget all that he had learned. He wanted to remember all the visions he had, so he decided to call himself the smoky mirror so that he would always know that matter is a mirror and that smoke in between is what keeps us from knowing what we are. He said, I am the smoky mirror because I am looking at myself in all of you, but we don't recognize each other because of the smoke in between us. That smoke is the dream. The mirror is you, the dreamer. Did y'all catch that? Did that go over your, did that? Oh man, that was really deep. This is a really powerful. And let me tell you something, we still in the introduction. This is a powerful book, y'all. We still in the introduction. Living is easy with eyes closed, misunderstanding all you see. John Lennon. 1. Domestication and the dream of the planet. Hey, peace and love. If you on here, let me see. Do we got any comments? No comments. We ain't got no thumbs up. Y'all been on here this whole time. If you on here, how about giving a like or a share? Or are you a monitoring spirit? Ah, you were a monitoring spirit because soon as I said that, you left. Ah, monitoring spirits, be gone. This is for those who want to engage in the ascension of the consciousness through reading this beautiful book, this beautiful literature called The Four Agreements. Number 1, the domestication and the dream of the planet. What you are seeing and hearing right now is nothing but a dream. You are dreaming right now in this moment. You are dreaming with the brain awake. Dreaming is the main function of the mind. And the mind dreams 24 hours a day. It dreams when the brain is awake, and it also dreams when the brain is asleep. The difference is that when the brain is awake, there is a material frame that makes us perceive things in a linear way. When we go to sleep, we do not have the frame, and the dream has